glad to be here. I always say I love you. I love you. This is one of my favorite Turning Point events. It's just the energy, man. You guys are really on the front lines of the fight, and we are so blessed to have you here. Give yourselves a round of applause. Let me ask a question. How many people, by a show of hands, in this room have been called racist before? Wow. My God. Okay, let me ask an easier question. Who has not yet been accused of racism or sexism in this room? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's all right. You're at this conference. You're conservative, so you're going to get thrown into the pile like the rest of us. And remarkably, we constantly hear this from the media. Our media, which we shouldn't even call fake news anymore. We should just call it dumb news, right? I'm sitting here reading articles. They're calling me a racist and a white supremacist. I mean, really. They have such little intellectual depth that they don't think anything else can be going on in this country than people they're more racist than we thought, right? In 2016, this is what the DNC strategy was. They said, here's how we're going to win. We're going to accuse 50% of America of being racists. That didn't work out too well for them. So here we are ahead of 2020, and they have a new strategy. They've updated it. We're going to accuse 80% of America of racism, right? That's what we have going on. And I was speaking to my friend Dennis Prager. I don't know if you guys know Dennis Prager, right? I'm talking to him on my podcast, and I'm so fascinated, and I'm trying to learn from him because he's older, and there's so much wisdom that you can get from older people. And I just asked him a simple question: why? Why does the left want to libel and slander us all? Why do they want to mischaracterize people that are fighting for and love their country? Why do they want to paint everybody as racist and as sexist and as horrible human beings? And he said, Candace, here's the thing. You can't try to assign reason to the left. What they're after is total and complete chaos. It makes no sense, so stop trying to understand it. This is what you guys are going to be up against. For those of you that are in college and for those of you that are going into college, this is the method that they are going to use. They're going to try to smear you, and their efforts are ultimately to silence you against using logic, because they have no logic. They cannot win. They cannot beat us in intellectual debates. So they smear and they libel and they slander. I always tell people, fight, but stay optimistic and also be lighthearted and have fun. It's okay to be fun. It's okay to think that this is funny, because the left is giving us a ton of humor right now, right? I always have fun. We've got AOC, I don't know what she is to me, but she's now showing up and doing photo ops at the border, right? Did you guys see that? That remarkable all white. Here, let me see if I can do it live. I don't know about you guys, but when I show up to protest horrible humanitarian things, I always wear all white and red lipstick and heels, because I'm being serious. You see, every single person in that photo was wearing all white. Who would even wear that? It's all about getting attention. It's all about clicks. They do not want to fix anything. What they're looking to do is import illegals, because they want to create a new victim class, because every single day, more and more Black Americans and Hispanic Americans are waking up to the lies of the left. So I was talking to Larry Elder, and I've been so blessed. I'm in a circumstance now where I can just learn from people that are much smarter and have been around a lot longer than I have been. And we're talking about, what's another reason that they turn around and they call everybody else racist? Well, Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals, right? You have to accuse the other side of exactly what it is you're guilty of. And everything that they are doing and everything that they are proposing is ultimately racist and harmful to minority Americans. Take, for example, the absurd idea that we should open our borders and just let everybody flood in, right? How insane is that? It's bizarre. I actually debated that with someone 2 nights ago, and I said to myself, the fact that we are even debating this is insanity. The fact that this is even a conversation in America right now is total and complete insanity. For those of you that do not know this, Over 50% of our country's Border Patrol agents are Hispanic. So when they're saying, let's abolish Border Patrol, that's an attack on law-abiding Hispanic Americans. Over 25% of all of the ICE agents are Hispanic Americans. So what they want to do is they say, in America, they only honor you on the left if you're a law-breaking minority. They have no place for those of us who follow the rules, who want to work hard, and who love this country because we should love this country. It is the greatest country in the world. It is, yes. USA, USA. I always talk about my grandfather when I'm on stage because he's such an example of what the American dream is. And people ask me, where do you get these conservative ideas? Where did you start to believe that conservatism was the way that you wanted to lead your life? And it happened for me really quite quietly. I never even knew that the things that I was taught, the lessons that I was taught in my household growing up were conservative. You see, my grandfather grew up when there was real racism in America. Not just, oh, I don't like your opinion, so I'm going to call you a racist, right? I'm talking about real racism. He grew up in the segregated South on a sharecropping farm. My grandfather's first job he had when he was 5 years old, and it was pulling out tobacco to dry on a sharecropping farm and picking cotton on this sharecropping farm. I grew up in his household. I was blessed to be able, during my formative years, to grow up in his household and abide by his rules. And let me tell you something, never once, not one single solitary time did my grandfather ever make a bad comment about a white person. Never once in my household did my grandfather ever tell me that I couldn't do something because of the color of my skin. Ever. I never learned that. I didn't learn how to be a victim. So that's a problem. That's a problem for the left. I didn't learn how to be a victim in my grandfather's household. My grandfather believed in some very basic ideas. He believed first and foremost in faith. Every single meal that we had to read the Bible. I was so embarrassed of it when I was growing up because my grandfather would make us read the Bible every single morning and go around the table and talk about what lessons we learned. And that wasn't cool. You know, you couldn't talk about that in school, not in this secular world that we live in. You see more and more we live in this culture where the left wants to mock God. It's very bizarre. Even if you're not a religious person, you don't have to be a religious person, but your instinct shouldn't be to mock people that follow Jesus Christ. Isn't that just a little weird, right? He died for all of our sins. All of our sins. Yes, we should stand up for Jesus Christ. Look at this. The greatest country and the greatest people, a standing ovation for Jesus Christ. And now we've got the left. We've got people like Joy Behar, right, who are mocking mocking a VP Mike Pence because, he's faithful to his wife. Right? That's what they're mocking him for, because he's faithful to his wife, because he values his family, and because he believes in Jesus Christ. And I say to myself, why are they doing that? Why are they trying to make atheism hip and atheism cool? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they're narcissists, right? They don't believe in anything or anyone but themselves. And the only way that you can grow government is if the individual doesn't believe in anything at all. So they take away God. The second thing, which is what my grandfather was really strong on, was family. And we see every single day how much the left hates the idea of a nuclear family, of a mom and a dad and their family. They want that gone. They are trying to manufacture that crisis in every single regard. You see, today they want men to act like women, right? You and your feminism shirts, feminism is for everybody, right? They want women to act like men. You don't need a man. What does feminism tell us today? Just hate men. Masculinity is toxic, right? And I say, thank goodness that my grandfather was such a man. More masculinity is what's needed because he raised me the right way, to believe in faith and to believe in the family. So if that is an example of toxic masculinity, I'll have double of that, please. More of that, please, for society. To the men that are in this room, do not be afraid to be a man, to hold doors. Now women are offended. I can do it myself. Let him hold the door. Let the guy open the door, pull out chairs, ask you on a date. That's normal stuff, man. Goodness. Look at this. Women standing up for men because we belong together. We should be defending each other in every regard that we can. Do not let the left take this down. This feeling in this room, you guys standing together, different races, different colors, different sexes, believing in the family, believing in yourself. Do not let the left pervert that because it means something. It meant something to me growing up in the household, seeing my grandfather who married my grandmother when he was 17 years old, and we lived in a super traditional household. You know, my grandfather went to work, my grandmother was at home, and let me tell you, my grandmother ran the house, okay? Staying at home and raising children is one of the toughest jobs in the world. No woman should be ashamed of that. It's hard to raise good kids. I mean, look at how Rashida Tlaib ended up. She freaking absolutely went rabid at the president. The president is up against the law. I mean, that was rabid. I saw the video myself. I'm not a doctor, but I could diagnose that as rabid. She went rabid, okay? Right? Right, yeah. Trump derangement syndrome is real. It should totally be in the DSMV. So we've got all of these things going on, and when my grandfather was with my grandmother until her dying day in 2013, and it was a beautiful relationship, and I learned so much under it. And when my grandfather retired, you know, we lived up in Connecticut during my formative years. When my grandfather retired, he actually moved back down south where he grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and he went back to the sharecropping farm, except he owned it. When he went back down, he bought it. Standing ovation for Grandpa, man. I love my granddad. What am I talking about here? When I talk about my grandfather, what is my grandfather an example of? He is an example of the American dream. The American dream. That you can come into this country, it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter where you start. You can come with the clothes on your back. And if you're willing to work hard and not complain, this country will reward you. This is the greatest country on earth for that reason. You'll hear people, these idiots, telling us, oh, America's not the greatest country. They're better at math than China. You know, is anybody rushing, trying to flood the borders to get into China? Is anybody rushing, trying to flood the borders to get into any other country? Why does everybody want to be in America? Because we are the best, and you should not be ashamed of knowing that. It's like music to my ears. I love it. I love this country. I have to tell you guys, I'm so impressed with you for this reason. When I was your age, I was not standing up and screaming USA. I wasn't. I was a liberal. My story starts on the left. I was a liberal because I went through the public school system, right? And if you don't have people that are training you to know that at every moment they're trying to indoctrinate you, you will come out of the public school system like I did. I came out believing that Republicans were racist, that Democrats were the heroes, that the left was fighting to liberate us all, that they were the good guys, right? That because of the color of my skin, I wasn't allowed to be a Republican. I wasn't allowed to be a conservative because conservatives want to send this country back a few decades, right? That's what I actually believed. And I woke up because a miracle happened in 2015. A man by the name of Donald J. Trump came down the escalator. And I looked at him. I gotta be honest with you guys, I can't lie. I looked and I said, oh no. This man, he's the guy that says you're fired on TV. No way, he cannot be in the White House. He's not serious enough, he lacks decorum. I do not want to see this man go from reality TV to the White House. That was my initial feeling. But more importantly than the things that I was thinking were the things that I was not thinking. You see, at no point in my internal dialogue did I say, he's a racist, he's a sexist, he's a misogynist. And yet, in a matter of nanoseconds, the media said all of those things. This was a man that was loved, right? The media loved Donald Trump. I was living in New York at the time. In New York, you wanted to be invited to a Trump party. That was considered cool. The hip-hop artists were hanging out with him. Everybody loved Trump. I grew up listening to hip-hop music. He was the guy that everyone was trying to become. Jay-Z and Beyonce were sipping poolside at Mar-a-Lago. And then just like that, the media said, oh, never mind. Forget everything that we ever said about him. He's a racist. He's an avowed racist. That's it. Forget the award that Donald Trump won alongside Rosa Parks and Muhammad Ali for helping black people in urban communities, right? Remember those awards? Forget the black woman that Donald J. Trump dated that no one ever wants to talk about, because now we're magically going to make him a racist and everyone needs to stay away. And when that happened, I had my wake-up moment and I said, oh my goodness, is it possible that racism is now being used as a theme to turn black people into single-issue voters? Is it possible that racism is now being used as a political motive to drive black and white people apart just ahead of election cycles? Absolutely, okay? Absolutely. Look at the timing of it all. It's unbelievable. It's like white supremacy is on a clock, right? Every 4 years, we're back, white supremacy, we're here, hey, media, covering it. Look over there, it's white supremacy. Look over there, it's racism. And literally, every 4 years, they drum it up. We're having hearings now on the rise of white nationalism. You may have seen me in Congress there to testify against it. They weren't expecting me that day, man. I'll tell you a little behind the scenes of how I felt walking out there. I was so nervous. I was freaking out. I was like, am I making the right move? Am I going to get in trouble? I'm calling everybody. I'm like, Charlie, should I do it? Should I not do it? You know? And then I said, you know what? I have to do it. And as soon as I walked out and I saw those Democrats sitting there, oh God, they just looked so pathetic. I was like, is anybody, you guys are the morons that have been driving a wedge in this nation? Really? You, little Jerry Nadler with your gavel? You guys, I just thought they were so pathetic, and I was immediately furious. I was angry. I was angry that they have the audacity to do what they are doing to our great president, to our great nation, to the most wonderful country on earth. How dare they? How dare they? Here is what I have learned. Here is the blessing and the gift. When I say that Donald J. Trump coming down that escalator in 2015 was a miracle, I mean it. I mean it. I think that if he did not win, our country would be in a very scary place right now. We almost lost this country. We really did. We almost lost that place where people like my grandfather could start from nothing and become something. And we almost lost it without even knowing. It was so silent. The way that they took over every facet of our lives. The way the television all started telling us the same thing, preaching these leftist views. The way the celebrities were endorsing these leftist views. I didn't even know it was happening. But here is the blessing that the president gave me and what I will forever be grateful for. The president taught me how to love that flag. Where is it? Where is the flag? Charlie doesn't have a flag in here. How to love. There it is. There it is, waving right there. Right there. How to love that flag, right? And there's a reason why they don't want to kneel for it and they don't want to respect it. There's a reason why athletes are saying no to the flag and they want to burn the flag and they want to hate the flag. Because that flag is a symbol of something that unites all of us, not on the basis of our skin tone, of our sex, or of our gender, but on the basis that we love this country, that we are patriots. That flag, they want to see it go away. Yes, that flag, I love it. They want that to go away because that is the ultimate symbol of unity in this country. Every single day I wake up and I'm the most optimistic person in the entire world. People ask me, how do you take all of the bullets? How do you take when they're saying such horrific things about you? And I say, well, we've got to be close, right? I mean, they're calling black people white supremacists. I don't know what else they have left in the arsenal, right? They've got to be winding down on their weaponry when we get to this crazy point in society. But I'm so inspired because every day I see it. I see it on the ground. More and more people are waking up. And I'm also so inspired because of this right here, the young generation of you guys that are willing to go to bat for the values that you believe in. I have said it in multiple interviews, and I will say it again. You guys are the real people that are saving America. You are the hope for the future of this country. Continue to talk about faith. Continue to talk about family. Family is so important. Do not allow them to normalize things that are abnormal. There is nothing wrong with family. There is nothing wrong with settling down. There is nothing wrong with the Bible. There is nothing wrong with Jesus Christ. It is having a return in this country. You guys, I want to thank you so much for having me. It has been an absolute blessing. God bless this beautiful country that we live in. Keep fighting and have fun. For the love of God, have fun.